So now we will see bind method in JavaScript. So guys, basically with the bind method, an object can borrow a method from another object. So guys, let us understand this with the help of examples in VS Code over here. So simply I'm going to create a new file under the tutorial folder in this case. So as you can see, we have the bind method.js file over here. Now guys, previously we understood how the call and the apply method works in this case, and from the same code we are going to copy these lines of code, that is couple of objects that we had created previously inside this particular bind method over here. So guys, what exactly we are doing in this case, basically we are creating the person object over here, which is having the first name, it is equal to John, and the last name, it is equal to Doe over here, and we are having the display function which is taking age as the parameter. So guys, when the display function is going to be called, it is going to take one parameter, that will be the age of the person. Now guys, this particular display function is going to return the string, that is full name is, and then followed by first name, last name, and then we have the age as well. So this is as far as the person object is concerned. Apart from this, we also have the object that is player over here, which is having the properties that is first name, last name, and the age over here. So guys, in this case we have the two common properties, that is first name and last name, in both the objects this time. Now guys, when we are using the bind function over here, it helps us in order to borrow a function. So as you can see, we have the display function in the person object but not in the player object. So can we access the display function by using the player object directly? Let us check that as well. So over here, simply we are going to provide the console.log statement, and this time we will use the player object, and we want to access the display method over here. So let me just provide the dot character followed by the display method this time. So guys, probably we should get the error over here. That's because the display method is not belonging to the player object, so we should not be able to access this particular method. So let us confirm this. So we have provided the open and close parenthesis over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code by using the node command on the terminal followed by the name of the JavaScript file, that is bind method.js. So guys, when we press enter, as you can see, we are getting the error player.display is not a function. That's because we have not defined the display method inside the player object over here. But guys, it is already defined in the person object. So how do we borrow this particular display method for this player object and display the combination of the first name and last name that we have defined over here? So simply we can use the bind method in this case. So what we will do is, let me just remove this particular player.display in this case. Simply we will use the person.display this time. So over here, when we use person.display, normally only this part, that is person.display method, should not give us any error. That's because the display method is already belonging to this person object, and it is going to print the first name and last name, and we can provide the age as well in order to be displayed. And if we don't provide any age, it will give us the undefined value. So when we save this file now and try running this code over here, as you can see, full name is John Doe, which is belonging to the person object this time, but we want to access the first name and last name for the player. So what we will do is, simply I'm going to remove these open and close parentheses after the display method. We have to provide the dot character followed by the bind method over here, which is going to borrow the display method for the new object, that is player over here. So guys, as you can see, for a given function creates a bound function that has the same body as the original function. So guys, over here, let me just provide the bind method, and the first parameter that we have to provide is an object to which this keyword can refer inside the new function. So guys, basically we need to pass this player function, using which we will be able to get the first name and the last name properties in order to be printed over here by using the display function. So guys, simply we are going to provide the player object over here as the parameter for this bind method. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we are getting the function as a return value over here. So guys, what we have to do is simply we are going to assign this function to the variable over here. So let us say we provide full name as the variable, which we can later use in order to display the return statement. So guys, what is the meaning of this full name? Basically, it is going to be a callback function over here. So simply when we provide the console.log statement once again, and this time we provide the full name over here, it is going to return us this particular same value, that is function. So let us check that as well. So as you can see, we are getting function once again as the return value since it is stored in the full name variable. So guys, basically we need to call this full name since a function is stored inside this full name. So how do we call the function? By using the open and close parenthesis over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, full name is Smith Peter, which is coming from the player object now instead of John Doe, which are the properties for the person object. So guys, in this way we can use the bind method by using this player object, that is the new object, which helps us in order to borrow this display function belonging to the person object over here. Remember that it is going to return the function this time, which we are storing it and then calling it by using the console.log statement, inside which we have to call the callback function over here. Again, we can pass the age of this particular player since it is coming undefined right now, since this particular age is expected as a parameter to this function. So guys, simply we will provide player followed by dot and the age over here. So this 22 value will be passed to this particular display function and it will be printed on the terminal. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. Undefined, now we are getting 22 as the age of the Smith Peter, which is a in order to borrow the method that is present in another object by using the properties of an existing object which does not have that particular method. Now guys, apart from this, bind method can also be used in order to preserve this keyword over here. So guys, let us understand this with the help of example in VS Code over here. So what we will do is, let me just comment out these lines of code, and this time we are going to use the set timeout function, that is a built-in function inside JavaScript that helps us in order to delay the execution of certain lines of code over here. So guys, simply we are going to use this particular set timeout function, and then as you can see, it is going to take timeout as the second parameter and the first parameter is going to be the function. So guys, over here we are going to provide, let us say, 3000 milliseconds of delay, which is 3 seconds of delay over here, and in this case we are going to provide the callback function related to the person object followed by dot, and then we have this particular display function to be called. So guys, remember that we don't have to provide the open and close parenthesis over here since it is going to be a callback function this time. So guys, let us see what will be the output when we call this display function over here within the set timeout after the delay of 3 seconds over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here. As you can see, there is a delay of 3 seconds and then after that there is no output for now. That's because we are simply returning the string over here and we are not printing it anywhere. So guys, what we will do is, instead of having the return statement over here, we will have the console.log statement this time. So simply we will have the console followed by dot and then we have this particular log statement inside which we have this particular entire string to be printed on the terminal. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here, so again it is waiting for 3 seconds and after the timeout you can see that full name is and then followed by undefined and then age is also undefined. So guys, over here there is a problem with this keyword in this case. So the value of this keyword is lost when we are using the set timeout and calling the function directly by using the object over here. So in order to preserve the value of this keyword in this case, what we have to do is we need to use the bind method. So let us check that as well. Simply what we will do is, again we are going to store the callback inside full name over here. It is equal to, and this time we are going to provide the person object followed by dot, and then again we are going to use the same display method. So guys, instead of providing this particular method directly as the callback method inside timeout, we are going to provide it over here and then followed by dot. We are going to use the bind method in this case, and as the argument we are going to pass the same object that is person, since we are going to call the first name and the last name for that particular person object first of all. So over here again we are going to provide the person as the parameter, and the first name and the last name of this particular person object will be used. And then guys, what we are doing is we are storing the return value inside this full name callback function over here, and then we have to use this particular callback function. So simply we will use the full name this time instead of person.display. So guys, this particular line of code along with this full name callback function is going to solve the problem of undefined over here, which means the meaning of this keyword will be preserved. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, it is waiting for 3 seconds, and then after this we are getting full name is John Doe this time. So guys, this undefined is coming. That's because we have not provided the age over here. So simply we can provide the age as well as the second parameter in this case. So let us say after person we provide the age as 22. Let us see what will be the output over here when we run this code once again. After waiting for 3 seconds, as you can see, the age is coming as 22. We have passed it over here with the bind method. So guys, in this way you can use the callback function in order to store the return from the bind method, and then use the callback function in order to be used with the set timeout method over here, which is the built-in JavaScript method. Apart from this, you can also use the player object in order to display the Smith Peter as the first name and the last name over here. So let us say I provide the player object this time, and the age will be player.age over here. So simply we provide it as a second argument. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. As you can see, there is a delay of 3 seconds, after which we get the full name is Smith Peter followed by the age, that is 22. So guys, in this way the bind method can be first of all be used in order to borrow a method from another object, and secondly it can be used in order to preserve the value of this keyword over here that belongs to the object. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to talk about an exercise to understand apply, call and bind methods. So stay tuned.